All right, welcome to the team call for Wednesday, June 7th. I feel so weird saying June. I'm excited for tonight's call. I was talking with Mackenzie yesterday, and I was like, hey, end of story. I need you on my team call. I've been watching you rock the Success Club boards, and I just would love to have you talk to my team. So it's a done deal. She's going to chat with us tonight and share her background story. I don't even think I know your background story, so it'll be fun to hear that. But I just like to kick things off on our team call with doing some recognition. Do you guys have any recognition, shout outs, rank advancements you guys would like to do for tonight?
I do.
I can barely hear you, whoever that was.
It's me. Can you hear me?
Yes, better now.
All right, cool. She's probably not on the call because she's got a lot of small humans, but I just wanted to shout out Erica Young. She is not a social media person, and she's really been taking initiative to come out of her comfort zone. And she's the first rung on the leadership ladder, and she hit her first month of Success Starters, which is really exciting. So she's been doing a lot and just really taking initiative. So I just want to shout her out because not everybody does that.
That's awesome. We don't really have too many Success Starters anymore, so congratulations, girl. That's amazing. Was there someone else that wanted to shout anyone out? Alrighty. I just wanted to make sure you guys I don't know if you saw the post today that I made about the summer sale. So if you guys are looking to incentivize any friends, any challengers, and have giveaways, if you guys are really struggling with gaining any momentum, giveaways are a great way to do that. And the summer sale is the perfect time because it's like 60 to 70% off. So you guys can search the team page for that. You can also look up the FAQ that's going on this week. That's what I'm doing because I'm getting a few things for my challengers. I love that stuff. And then I haven't checked to see if you guys responded yet, but does anyone have any interest in me hosting like a 7-day Shaun T challenge? Do you guys need that? Do you guys want that? Raise your hand if anyone does. Everyone else is in one? So just Jason. Okay, me and you, Jason. All right. I don't have any other housekeeping items for you guys today, but Mackenzie, I would love to have you share. I have your stats. I was like, I know I'm forgetting something. When did you start coaching, Mackenzie?
April 28th, 2015. So about 2 solid years ago.
Cool. So just 2 years. She is a Diamond Coach, a Success Club 10 All-Star, which for those of you that aren't really sure what that means that she has hit Success Club 10 for at least 12 months consistently. And she's a Success Club 5 legend, which means that she's hit Success Club for 2 years, no questions asked. So clearly she knows how to show up and be consistent, and that's kind of what I asked her to talk to us about today. So go ahead, girl. I'm going to stop talking.
Okay. Thank you. First of all, guys, I love Colleen. I am Natalie's best friend, and she is who brought me into this thing. And she always talked about this Colleen Eddie at the time, Colleen Curtis. And I was like, who is this girl? So I looked her up on Facebook. I've been following ever since. So I know you guys are just as amazing as she is. So this is honestly an honor. I might seem a little weird at first. This is definitely the biggest call I've ever done. So bear with me. But I do want to just tell you guys, honestly, not really anything crazy or catastrophic, but I feel like being in this business for 2 years, a lot has gone down. And I feel like by going back and sharing some of that with you guys, I hope that you'll take something away. And I'm going to touch on a couple key points, but I want to take you back to, the first year of my business. I know people say this all the time, was so much about me. I was coming into this. I was struggling with my own physical and fitness mental journey. I started coaching at 22, right out of college, just this doe-eyed girl that was I don't want to go get a 9 to 5. I don't want to settle for that because I had been bartending for 4 years. So I was a bartender for a total of 6 years. And it just got to the point where I just couldn't do it anymore. But I always saw something really special within this business. And I was I like to say, I thought I was all in from day one because I was hitting Success Club. I was really consistent, but I was never really doing the right things. I didn't have the right mindset. There's a really easy way to kind of be that person that maybe shows up and thinks that they're doing everything that they should be doing in this business, but really you wake up one day and you're like, holy crap, you know, like I have no ownership. I have no true confidence. I've not been being my authentic self. So about 6 months ago, I don't know how long ago November was, but guys, I was always teetering with losing Diamond, and like I have no, you know, crazy stats because I am truly just getting started, and that's okay. Like no matter where you are on this journey and in this business, you just have to accept that you're there for a reason. And when I started believing that and I started accepting that and I started building off of that, I started to see true growth. So back in November, I totally just like fell to my knees in my living room and was like, I can't do this anymore. I am so sick and tired of feeling like this business is just kicking me and beating me down. Like I'm showing up, I'm in Success Club, I'm doing what I think I need to be doing. Yet there was something that was missing and I just felt like empty. And honestly, that's because I wanted my life to be in such a different place. Yet that was the first time that it really hit me that that was all up to me. That I was so disappointed in myself. And I know you guys remember when you were kids, like you definitely didn't want your parents to ever say they were disappointed in you because that sucks. That means like, it's so much worse than like being mad or like, you know, just like messing up, whatever. When you feel disappointed in yourself, that's because you know you could have done better. And that's how I felt. So I totally reevaluated myself. I was like, all right, do I take ownership of my business? Do I understand that every single thing that goes down in this is on me? And that can kind of feel scary, right? Like that can feel like maybe you're not ready for that yet. That's okay. Like keep going, because when you have, that is the moment that you need to have. That is the moment that you need to search for, that you need to work for, that you need to grow for. Because when you decide like, okay, like I'm going to do this, then nothing else will ever get in your way. I made that decision that day that I was going to quit my job as a bartender on my 24th birthday, February 15th. So it was about like 5 months before the date. And I looked at that goal every single day on my door when I walked out of it. And people ask me all the time, they're like, well, how did you know when it was time to quit your job? Like, what did you do? Like, how much were you making? What was your business like? And honestly, guys, like the only thing, not the only thing, but the main thing you need to have to take a leap like that, to go after this business like that, is just full on total like nothing's getting in your way belief, you know? And I looked back on my journey. I was like, all right, I've had some ups and downs. I've almost lost my rank. I almost didn't qualify for our Diamond Leadership twice. I, you know, have been there at the clock trying to lock in Success Club. I had all these failures. I had all these reasons why I didn't think I would be able to take this business where I wanted to take it. But I made the decision that I was going to anyway. And that type of belief, when you believe that you're going to show up no matter what, you can accomplish anything that you want in this business, as long as you're here for the long haul, as long as you're here for the ups and the downs and the roller coaster. So as soon as I went full time, I was like, all right, I don't really have a huge team. Like I just was like, I'm doing this. Maybe I wasn't, you know, picture perfect ready, but I was like, I'm gonna make this happen. So I looked at Success Club, and I'll be honest with you guys, it's like crazy that she asked me to talk about this, because I was actually just telling my boyfriend the other day, like I was looking at the Success Club board and dropped the cookie, and I was like, oh my God, like I don't think I've ever been like the first, like up on the left corner. And that's never something that's like really, I'd say, been like my main goal. I always felt like if I'm setting goals and I'm working hard for them and I'm reaching them, then, you know, I'm running my business the right way. But basically, I used to look at those names up there and think, oh my God, that would never be me. I remember, you know, a girl on our team one time, like posting in our personal sponsored page, oh my God, like I invited 30 people today. And I was like, what? 30 people in a day? Like I was like blown away by that. So that just goes to show like how powerful telling yourself that could never be you. I could never find those people. Like I could never send 30 invites. I could never be at the top of the leaderboard. That is how powerful whatever story you're telling yourself is. Because we can all sit here and say like, you know, I'm not motivated by this, well, I'm just here for this and stuff like that. But make sure you're not just telling yourself a story because you're afraid of going after what you really want. So when I came into this, I was like, all right, Success Club has always been a non-negotiable because I was taught that. But Success Club started to mean something totally different to me. It was something that I can totally control. And I know you guys are like, no, because, you know, like it's the 31st sometimes and I have nobody else to talk to. I have no one else to follow up with. I am totally stuck. I've been there too. But what you do on the 1st of the month is in your control. What you're doing on the 15th of the month is in your control. What you're doing every single day during the month is totally in your control. And I worked this business for almost a year and a half with another job. And I kick myself every day because if I would have been focusing like that in the time that I had, I would be way farther along than I am right now. It's just a lesson. But I was always told, okay, Success Club's everything. And I'm like, okay. But it actually is. It is your volume. It's your commission. It's your coaches. It's your stability. It's rank. It's everything. Every single person that you bring in through Success Club has the opportunity to change their life and become a believer, which means they have the opportunity to become a coach, which means they have the opportunity to completely and totally transform their lives. So while I was always hitting Success Club, while I was always, at 10 or, I had some months where I didn't reach it, but that was always my goal. I realized like I am doing absolutely nothing with those people. I was helping them, but I was not coaching them. I wasn't taking them through the way that I should have. So, guys, it's not about the number. And I remember thinking like, all right, I'm going to push for Success Club 20, my first month as a coach. And I was like, wow, like 10 people, like where am I going to find them? And this business just is a numbers game. And there are people out there. Don't ever tell yourself that you can't just because, that mountain seems too high. When you start treating people like you would want to be treated, like think about when you came into this business. Like my best friend was my coach. She was with me every step of the way. She was in my freaking, she was texting me the next morning when she saw that I went out and I was like, crap, okay, like I'm back on track. I'm going to keep going. That is the kind of people we need to be. We need to be somebody's best friend. And while that seems kind of hard, it is, but that's how we truly do our jobs right. So I want to touch on a couple things: fear, consistency, belief, and action. I know you guys are like, okay, I've heard these things a bajillion times, but what I've really found behind these words has really helped me and it inspires me every day. So when it comes to fear, like we just have to get over ourselves. It came to a point where I was like, okay, why am I worrying about what this person thinks of me, first of all, because I'm just trying to help them. Why am I worrying about what someone's going to say about me on my social media? I had a girl that I went to high school with that I am now ashamed to say I was really good friends with, actually screenshotting posts of mine, talking about me with another girl on Twitter, calling me names, like showing my actual name, like screenshotting text messages between the two of them, like talking about me and how I was embarrassing myself. And this was so sad. It went on for like 4 months and I had no idea. I had no idea that this was going on all over Twitter. And guys, that happens sometimes. Like there's a lot of people out in this world that get bullied for a lot worse reasons and because they're just trying to be themselves just like us. So I had to stop worrying if someone was going to think I was a psycho or think I was weird when I was popping into their inbox or showing up on their newsfeed, because I had a bigger purpose in mind. And if that's what you have to have, if you don't have that, then you're going to be afraid every single day. And I didn't have that bigger purpose yet. I didn't have a no-fail game plan yet. Like when you go full time and your whole business is on your back, fear kind of just doesn't seem that important anymore. And maybe that's not quitting your job for you, but that has to be something for you because that's what makes us show up. You're standing in the way of someone's life being changed by not hitting send. Haley Christian in a training that we did, she did the hashtag don't be a bitch, hit send. And that's just everything because she's so right. Where would you be right now if someone hadn't hit send for you? I remind myself that every single day. Like, I'll be honest, I thought Natalie was kind of losing her shit whenever I saw her like posting all over Facebook, like working out, when she was like writing me meal plans when we were just trying to go out and have a good time. I'll be honest, I was like, okay, like, I don't know what's going on with her, but like, you know, whoa. But she never gave up on me because she knew I needed that change so badly. I was so like dependent on alcohol, you guys. I showed everyone to the world that I was this like happy and bright and like awesome, rad, confident girl, but I truly had no confidence within myself. I depended on social situations and alcohol, and like I was in terrible relationships, and I think I use the excuse all the time, like, it's just college. But like, would it have just been college? I don't know. Like, would that have carried over into the rest of my life? Probably. So it's not up to us to judge someone on whether or not they need our help. We don't know what someone's going through. And I try to remind myself of that every single day because, guys, like, you're holding that solution in your hand when you just say hello. And don't be afraid to, like, you know, let your business and your life become intertwined. The first couple, like, year or so of my business, I was really struggling on my own journey. I could not find that, like, balance. I couldn't find, like, okay, I'm this person, now I'm this person because I'm coaching. Things got so much easier when I just allowed all of it to become one. And now it's almost like every single thought I have comes back to coaching. Not like, oh, I shouldn't eat that, or, oh, I need to do my workout because I'm on my couch. But it's because I want to be better. I want to be better every day because of this opportunity, because of what we get to do. So don't live a double life. That's just not, you don't want to have guilt sitting on your shoulders because you're not being honest, you're not being authentic. I remember one time Natalie was like, the only thing I know about you is you're a brunette, you have a pretty smile, you've seen a weight loss transformation, and that's about it. I mean, I bartended and ran this business for a year and a half, and I almost never talked about that because I was ashamed. I was like, I don't want to talk, you know, I want to just be this awesome, rad girl boss. Like, I want everyone to think like I have my shit together. Like, I can do this. And I know for a fact that it's so much more inspiring when I say, okay, like, I woke up, went to a Beachbody event, went and tried out for America's Got Talent, sat in a room for 9 hours by myself because I didn't have anyone to go with me, decided to do this on a whim because I gained this confidence from Beachbody, left America's Got Talent at 8:30 after my audition, went to a 9 o'clock bar shift, didn't get home till 4 o'clock in the morning, and woke up the next morning to do a power hour. That's inspiring. That's letting somebody know, holy crap, this girl is spinning on all kinds of cylinders. So don't be afraid to, like, share with people, like, what's actually going on behind the scenes, like who you actually are, not who you are when you step into your coach spotlight. And the next thing takes me to belief. You know, I touched on that before, but you got to believe in yourself as a coach. You know, I used to never think I could, like, get someone results. I was bringing people on, but I wasn't showing them change. And it makes it hard to invite someone to something when you don't think you can help them. Same thing with coaching. Like, I don't care how many coaches you have. If you're inviting someone to, you know, become a coach on your team and you don't truly in the core of your soul believe you can help them reach their goals, then something's going to happen where that just doesn't happen. Like, they're not going to be with you. You're not going to have challengers. When you believe that you can do big things are going to come back to you. And you have to believe in your story and what you stand for. You have to believe that your story matters. Like, I used to think, like, oh my God, like, no one cares. You know, like, I don't have some, like, crazy thing to talk about, but actually I do. Because I've had nights where I've been sobbing. I've had nights where I wanted to give up. I've had nights where, you know, things are really hard. It doesn't have to be some, like, monumental, earth-shattering thing that sometimes you probably hear on a commercial, but it's yours, and you should be so proud of that. You know, sometimes it's even hard for me to look back at my coaching career and think, oh my God, like, seriously, like, I'm just now, you know, like, I truly do feel like I'm just now taking off. And my boyfriend always reminds me, he's like, listen, I know you think you should have already arrived, but sometimes you have to accept that you're just getting in the car. Like, there are so many roads that we're going to take through this. So I know he's the best. I love him so much. There are so many roads that we're going to take through this. So you just have to accept that, like, you've got to go on that journey. Like, you can't just, like, get in the car and, like, jump over all the hard shit. All of that stuff is on purpose. Because actually we have a bajillion trainings. We have like 1,000 resources. You know, like, every new coach is given the same things. Every coach has the same opportunity, yet not everyone takes it where they want to go. That's because there's a lack of belief. Because when I wake up every day and it's still hard, you know, even when you're full-time, you still sometimes have to inspire yourself to go to work. You still sometimes have like hard days where the whole night before, all you got were no, 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 no. And guess what? At the end of that day, no one handed you a paycheck. No one patted you on the back and told you did a really good job. But that's okay, because that's part of this. And I know so many of us like are raised on, okay, like, I go to work, I clock in, I clock out, I get a paycheck. I go to work, I do this, I make tips, I leave, I have cash in my hand. We have to see a bigger picture. We have to have belief in something bigger. That those moments where you go 1 extra minute, where you talk to 3 more people, where you spend 1 more hour, that is going to compound, like, maybe not for 10 years. Like, I don't know, because honestly, like I said, like, I'm still so new, but I believe in my heart that I am doing that for a bigger purpose, for a bigger vision than I can just see at the end of the day. And guys, you got to do some scary stuff, all right? My business totally changed when I committed to a program 100%. I was always the person that was like, no, nope, that's just not what I believe in. I don't believe in not eating pizza. I don't believe in not having a beer. Like, I will never do that. It's just so not me. And again, like, there you go, like, telling yourself, like, oh no, that's just not my thing. When really I was just scared because I didn't think I could do it. And I didn't know if I would be able to, you know, go back to 80-20 after doing something like that. So commit to something and share every second of it, because guys, when you see what's possible in that kind of journey, just like we tell our challengers, when you see what's possible in your fitness journey, you're going to start seeing what's more possible in your life. Speak on team calls. Reach out to someone that is like that you consider a dream coach. Like, I get like so many butterflies and I'm like, hi, like, oh my God, like, I love you. Like, oh, I just want to talk. Like, it seems so scary, but like, that's because it's supposed to be like that. That's because you care. So you have to do some scary stuff along this. You have to step outside of your comfort zone. And honestly, like, when you start pushing for bigger goals, you know, I started pushing for higher Success Club numbers because I was like, well, maybe I'm going to start doing more. Maybe if I have a scary goal, I'll do scary things. You know, like, when you push for those bigger numbers, that means maybe you're going to talk to like 10 more people that day. And one of those 10 people could be someone that needs you, that's going to lose 10 pounds in your first group, all because you just randomly message them because you have big goals. So don't ever think that, you know, wanting to help a lot of people in a month, you know, like, that is a huge and important goal because it is going to push you so far outside of your comfort zone. And the last 2 things that kind of go hand in hand are consistency and action. So don't be someone with huge dreams and mediocre action. That was me for like ever. I told Natalie from day one, I made a video in my room. I will never, ever forget making this video. I was like, I just have this vision and this dream of living somewhere like tropical by an ocean. And I'm like sitting on my phone and I'm like working, and like my boyfriend or like husband's like super sexy and he's like sitting by me, and we're like watching our kids in the ocean, and like everything's just grand. And like, you know, like, obviously life's still hard, so it wasn't that grand, but that was like this just like beautiful picture that I drew in my mind. But I got so mad at myself for so long only because my actions weren't matching up with what I really wanted out of my life. You know, like, you're going to do more harm to yourself.
Mackenzie, say that again.
Okay, wait. Which part?
I loved it. I'm making you say it again. I got mad at myself because...
Oh, I got mad at myself because I wasn't doing the work that matched up with the big dream that I had.
That's everything, guys. Like, that, you are in control of this car. You have to say, am I doing the things today? Like that golden rule, when I lay my head on my pillow at night, did I kick ass today or did I suck ass today? And it's up to you. Like, you've got to look in the mirror and be like, it's up to me. There are so many of you that have been saying for like a year and a half, like, oh, I'm just scared or I'm fearful. It's like, when will you just do it? When will you just go? And that's why I'm being like brutally bad cop honest lately, because I feel like I don't know how else to help you guys besides just get in that car and drive. So tonight when you get off, look in the mirror and be like, am I going to do this? Am I going to hold myself to the action? Okay, I don't want to get on a side rant, but I just love that you said that. So
no, thank you. Because guys, like that was like the hardest lesson for me to face. Like I did not want to accept the fact that I was not really working as hard as I needed to be for all the things that I really truly wanted. And that can be a really hard pill to swallow, right? Because, you know, you want things really bad. Like, I understand that. Like, I was crying every single day going into my job. I was miserable. I could not do it another day. I remember I had to go to work after our retreat at 4:00 on a Sunday, and I was literally standing behind the bar with like just tears like running down my face. And I was like, this sucks. Like, what am I doing? So I don't know. Like I said, like, I don't know what it's going to take. Like she said, I don't know what it's going to take for you, but I'm telling you, you are going to just free yourself when you just decide that like all it takes is action, and you are totally in control of that. So yeah, my next note was that's going to make you feel like a fraud. And that's going to then lessen your confidence. You're going to have less belief in yourself. You're going to have, you know, all of these reasons why you're failing when you kind of feel like a fraud, because you're showing up probably everywhere where people can see you. You're showing up on social media. You're showing up in your team page. But are you showing up behind the scenes? And that's what I really wasn't doing. But I convinced myself that I was really working hard. I convinced myself that I was, you know, being the person that I wanted to be, but I knew that I wasn't. And that's a character check. That's a straight up character check. And that's hard to do. That's why this business can be hard. There's no one over my shoulder saying, work harder, do this, do that. I mean, there can be, but you have to be that advocate. Okay. And the next thing is what action do you focus on? Focus on people. Focus on the people. You know, like, honestly, when you take those pockets of time, and I'm honestly talking to, like, I know so many people run this business with other jobs, and honestly, guys, like, being full-time, I'm sure Colleen would probably agree, it's not like we sit in front of our computers for 12 hours a day. Like, I worked sometimes we do, but I worked longer hours as a bartender. You know, like, some days than I do with this, because it's just about doing the right action with your time. It's about spending time on the right things. And that 5 or 6 months before I was about to quit my job, I had to seriously check myself and be like, all right, what am I doing with the time that I have? And I was 100% focused on inviting. I was focused on really paying attention to who I was friend requesting. I was focusing on my challengers. I was focusing on coaches. I was focusing on myself. I was focusing on the people, because this business doesn't grow. Like, I don't care how awesome your social media is. I don't care, like, how pretty you are, what your transformation looks like. You will not have a business until you have people that trust you, that respect you, that are inspired by you, and that are motivated by you. And that, again, is 100% in your control. Like, they see you on social media, but they need to see you in your inbox. They need to see you showing up in your challenge groups. They need to see you, you know, just checking in. Like, just say, hey, like, how are ya? What's up? What's new? Send me those pics. Like, how was your dinner? How was your day today? And I've really tried so hard to really help people with what's helped me, and not just be like there to be there. Like, hey, what's going on? Like, I'm just doing my duties. I really try to help somebody with the problem that they're facing. And a lot of times, like, for the people I'm talking to, I don't know if you guys face this or not, but I am so sick and tired of someone telling me they fell off track. Like, raise your hand if you hear that every single day. Like, seriously, every single day. And I'm like, can we just please stop making ourselves feel guilty for eating a cheeseburger or having a beer? Because life's really, really, really long. And if you continue to to beat yourself up. Like, I completely eliminated the word cheat. I hate the word cheat meal. I think it's like, I'm like, I don't want to feel like an adulterer when I want to enjoy something that maybe doesn't fit in my meal plan. Like, I've completely eliminated that from the vocab that anybody uses in my groups. And I've really, like, because my goal is I don't want them to complete 21 days. I want them to live that 80-20 like I do, because that is manageable. So it took me a really long time. Sorry if I keep jumping around. It took me a really long time to understand the word consistency, again, because like I was showing up on social media every day, but was I showing up behind the scenes? And, you know, I used to, like, my invites used to be like, hey, you're like, I don't know, maybe, but like I have this group and it'd be cool. Like, maybe if you want to join, just let me know. And there was no like confidence behind it. There was no like thrust and like, you know, belief behind the fact that I was going to literally help them. And I was just tiptoeing around an invite. And guys, like, you cannot do that. When you go to invite someone, you've got to like understand whether they say yes or no, that it all comes from like your energy behind it. Because like, if you're afraid to invite them, then they sense that. Like, you obviously don't feel confident. I was listening to this call, I don't remember the guy's name. And he was like talking about how, like, you know, sometimes as network marketers, we're like, yeah, I'm a network marketer. Like, don't judge me, you know? And it's like, you can't be like that when you pop into someone's inbox. Like, yeah, like, don't judge me, but I'm here to invite you to an online health and fitness group. You have to believe in that group. You have to believe in what's possible with those 21 days or those 30 days or by getting them into your Fit Fam. You have to believe in that really, really, really strongly, because when you do, they're going to feel that and they're going to become more interested. That friend request, all right, just remember this, that friend request that you make that day, that is going to then become the person that you say hello to. And that person is going to become the person next week that you invite. And then that's the person that either is going to become a success, they're going to order, or you're going to follow up with them next month. But you're just stressing yourself out, honestly, because this was me for a year and a half. I stressed out. I'm like, oh my God, it's the 15th. I'm not on the Success Club board. Oh my God, it's the 30th. I'm not at 10. Like, seriously, that takes so much joy out of this. Like, we are saving ourselves so many headaches when we just sit down and actually do those things every day. And I'll be honest with you guys, like, sometimes things happen, like it might not happen one day, but you better, you know, work harder the next day. Like, I'm not sitting here saying like I run a perfect business and I show up perfectly every single day and like I just have stars that float around my head all the time. Like, that is totally not the case. But I have truly found what is important, and it's those things. And I remind myself, like, every day, that person you friend request is who you will form with, and they will be who you invite, and they will be who you follow up with. And it just goes through that cycle. So have a plan. I used to just like write names down randomly. I had absolutely no tracking system. If you don't have a tracking system, please figure out what works for you. Stop doing what people are telling you to do, and just like watch the way you work one day. Just be like, how do I flow? Like, what am I on my computer? Do I like to have a notebook to write things down? Like, I just personally needed everything to be mobile. So I started using Asana, but it doesn't look anything like, you know, anyone else's Asana that I've ever seen. It looks like what I understand. So take total control of that and start tracking. Make a plan for your challenge groups. I'm not saying make a plan a week ahead. I'm saying make a plan a month, 2 months in advance. Because your girl here used to just be like, oh, like, I think I have like a couple people. I should probably just open a challenge group. No. You need to have a challenge group, date set, make sure at least at the beginning of every month, and make sure you have a prep week. And what I use that prep week for is, you know, like the people that sign up like way like 2 weeks ahead of time, that gives them something to plug into. But I am busting my butt that last prep week, because I'm just saying, like, this is your last chance. It's about to close, you know, and I'm really making that like serious urgency whenever that prep week's going on. That's when I'm following up like cray. because guys, like when you're scrambling around and you're like trying to run these challenge groups and you're like just here and you're there and you're like trying to hit Success Club and you're like trying to show up here and you're trying to do this here, you lose all joy. Like everything seems so hard and it seems so exhausting and you feel like you're just like never doing anything right. And that is totally where that brightness and that like light starts to burn out in this business. And that's totally where like people see that and that energy isn't there anymore. So you need a plan to really be able to help people. I will never forget being at Summit last year and thinking to myself, oh my gosh, I've been in Success Club for an entire year and I don't think I could pull up a transformation right now. Like a true before and after. And like, that is probably the hardest thing for me to admit to, because for a year I showed up on social media. Like I was so successful. Like I had everything, you know, rocking and rolling. And when I really understood like what being a coach means, I really started to see a change in my business. So I know it can be hard. Like I understand that a part of that was just me being on my own journey and me trying to grow myself and me getting to the place where I truly believed in myself and felt like I could lead people. But at the end of the day, like I always check myself with like, did I work hard to help others work hard on themselves? Like, because I can't do it for them. You can't do it for them. The groups aren't going to solve their problems. They have to be open to solving their problems themselves. And they have to see you solving your problems and going through your trenches yourself. So don't lose the joy, all because, you know, you feel spread thin or because you know, you're not prepared. The last little thing that I want to leave you with is just 2 quotes. This one is from Carl Daikeler. Love him. When in doubt, work harder. So simple. Kelsey Smith told me that when she came back from leadership, and I was just like, oh, you know, because it's so true. And Colleen said that, like I touched on that, guys. So how hard you work is totally in your control. It is not up to you if someone says yes. It is not up to you if, you know, everything, because there are a lot of ups and downs. And I always say, like, you know, you're working harder when you feel like you're failing constantly, because I've been full-time for almost 3-4 months. And I've never, like, I feel like I'm failing all the time. I'm just like, gosh, like, ugh. But like, I know I'm never going to stop. I know I'm never going to quit going. And at the end of the day, I always feel good about what I've done because I knew I worked hard. And the last thing is I just thought of this today because I like was just jogging all this in my brain. Just because it's hard doesn't mean it's impossible. So really remind yourself of that every day. Like just because your goals seem really hard that day, like, you know, like I feel like I'm at this point that I always dreamed of, but now there's so much more to be done. Like so much more. You know, like my income is not where I want it to be. I have not helped the amount of coaches advance their business that I want. And that's all things that I sit and I accept, and we just work harder to make them happen. So that's it. I'll just start rambling if I keep going. So.
How fun are you? We need more of your energy.
I'm so like, blah.
Natalie would be so proud of you. I can't wait to tell her.
Thank you. That means a lot. It really does.
Seriously, I can always tell when the team likes the call from the chat. The chat was going and everyone was just saying, yes, like I love this call. We have lots of new faces. It's great to have 39 humans on here.
Yay! I know it's like the most people I've ever spoken in front of, so thanks so much, guys.
Sometimes we have 20, sometimes we have 40, so it's cool. I just wanted to touch on a couple of things, guys, because there are so many things that you said, and I'm a note freak. So I hope you guys take notes on calls, because in 4 years, I have an encyclopedia of greatness that I go back to all the time from every single call. If you're driving, I get it. Maybe you listen to the calls and take notes later, but it's really, really helpful for me to take notes. But here is what I want to say to you guys. because this has been something that Christina Delgado checked me on this week. So I was telling her what was going on, and I was like, ranting to my mentor, as we all do when we have things going on. And she said, don't let others' actions dictate yours. So if you're fed up with people saying no, and you are just like, my challengers suck, or no one wants to talk to me, or all the things that are going wrong in your business, do not let other people's action dictate yours, because then what happens is you slow down. And then what happens is your consistency falls off. And I was totally letting other people dictate my actions. And that's when I woke up, because remember I said I was all butthurt about my social media, the engagement wasn't good. And so everything's about action. What was the Carl Decker quote?
When in doubt, work harder.
Yeah. So I was doubting myself. I'm at Success Club Zero. I had a good month in April and May, and I was like, okay, I really have to work hard. And so I got on Instagram, I got on Facebook, and I was like, I will not let other people's actions dictate mine. And that's the moment you have to look in the mirror and ask yourself, am I taking this frustration and putting it into work? That's what I do every single day. If I told you, like, my answer to success, like, that's what never give up is. That's truly what that means. When you're frustrated, what do I do to fix it? Another thing I want to say about don't let other people's actions dictate your actions is that people message me all the time saying, hey, my Beachbody coach friend and my little friend network is not consistent. They're not dedicated. Can you be my coach? Don't be that person. Could you imagine? I've had that happen on this team. Hey, like, I added you because I was following you from my friend, but they don't show up on social media. Like, they're not really working hard. So can you be my coach? And I'm like, oh, like, that's really, you don't want to be that person, right? So make sure that you guys are always dedicated and showing up. And then the last thing, how you were talking about, like, your vision and your belief. I totally relate to everything that you say. I'm all about belief. But I have been applying this to all my mentorships lately. So if you guys are taking notes, write it down. This is like my go-to. So every day when I sit down and do my work, I say, do I have the right vision? So where's your head at? So I'll talk to a lot of coaches. Like Sarah, I think, said that she was taking the redneck route through the back roads. Like, sometimes that's where our head is at, right? We're just like, oh, like, today sucks. And, like, I'm just going to go on this back road over here because I can, because my boss isn't watching me in Beachbody world. So I focus on my vision. Like, what do I want to happen? And where is my head at? Sometimes I have to stop the business work and dive into PD. Or talk to a mentor, talk to a friend. And then I get over it. 20 minutes later, I go back to my business work. It's the same for me, guys. I still have to hit Success Club too. So every month when I'm at zero, I have my list of people. I have to make new friends. I'm no different than you. And if you think about it, being 4 years in, it's actually kind of harder because I've been doing it for so long. So vision plus emotion. Emotion is the second thing. So how are you feeling and how do you want to feel? So that's two different things. So if you're feeling like crap and you're frustrated, then you have to be aware of that and make sure that you don't stay there. For me, that's huge. Sometimes I'll go sit in my hammock and I'm like, okay, if I talk to someone right now, I will epically fail because I'm going to be annoyed. They ask me some silly question about cost or something like that, right? And so I'll give myself a second to think about what I want to happen. I get my emotions right. And then the third thing is I take action. So you have to ask yourself, where's your head? Where's your heart? And what are you doing over there? Every single day that I talk to, like, my coaches behind the scenes, I'm like, what are you doing? So I'm doing this really intensive mentorship in June. They're going to show me invites, connects, social media, workouts every single day. It's kind of management mode, but I'm at the point where I'm like, we're going to do this and we're going to do it big. So if you guys feel like, oh, I would love to do that, you can do that on your own. I shouldn't have to do that with people or for people, but that's how we lead, right? We get in people's face and we push them. That's why I'm always the bad cop. I'm like, but are you doing the work behind the scenes? Because I have to do it too. So I'm your business partner. I'm here with you. I'm out of breath. Does anyone have any? What?
I want to add one more thing. Sorry, I don't want to interrupt you. But when you said this, I was like, oh my God, I forgot to say this. Guys, like, I'm at Success Club Zero too. And like, like at the beginning of the month, I was like, oh my God, I was like scrambling. And like she said, like, that is not going to help. Like, take a step back, figure out what you're doing and what you're not doing, and then start applying it. And just when you get your mind right, things are going to start happening. Like your inbox is going to start being the way you want it to be. Like your action is going to start reciprocating. So I just wanted to add that too, because it's not always like an on top of the world feeling. Like there is a lot of self-check moments like that. So just understand that it is supposed to be ups and downs. Like everybody faces that. Totally.
Absolutely. Like I already had one of our top diamonds who was leading the leaderboards not that long ago, totally stopped coaching just this month or May. And so what did I do? What did I physically and mentally and emotionally do in those moments? And that is the secret to recuperating for when someone quits, when you don't hit Success Club, when you miss goals. If you're not hitting your goals in your business, you have to say, what will I do next? It's the action. So there were months, excuse me, where when I maxed out on Facebook at 5,000 friends, I said, shit, what am I going to do? And you're probably like, oh, that's a good problem to have. It wasn't, because I was really struggling to hit Success Club. So then I had to go to Instagram. I had to literally, I sit down every day and I search hashtags for girls who I want to talk to. I have to physically pick up my phone and message them. I promise you guys that if you guys are doing that every single month and consistently doing this and just doing the work, that you're going to hit Success Club. Success Club 5 is 3 people a month. 3 people, guys. And if you're doing the work over 30, 60, 90 days, you will help 3 people every single month. I want to help you guys earn an income. I asked you guys in the team page what you wanted to make with this business. And what's awesome is that we actually have people who are dreaming big. But now we've got to put our work where our mouth is, right? So next week, I'm going to show you guys how to make that money. But this week, I need you guys to prep your mind and your heart and your fingertips and your business schedule, your sacrifice to do the work with me. Half of 2017 is done. And so maybe you're at $0 a week. Maybe you're at $500 a week. I'm not sure where each one of you individually is, but I heard what your goals are. I wake up every day determined to help you guys live that out. And I know it's not just like, oh, that'd be cool if I could make it. You guys said it would be life-changing. So if you're going to show up, I'm going to show up with you, but I'll be real. If you guys are, I just love the example, Sarah, so I'm going to keep using it. If you're on the back roads taking the redneck journey, I'm going to tell you that. I'm going to be honest with you, because that's like the best example ever, right? I'm going to be like, where's your head? Where's your heart? And where's your action? I'm out of breath.
Can I add something?
Totally.
So I kind of just want to piggyback off of both Colleen and Mackenzie at this point, because it's 100% accurate, everything that was said. So if you guys, I've realized literally the last May was my best month that I've had in probably 3 years, and today's my 3-year anniversary. But it's been my best month because it was my best month business-wise. Head and heart-wise, it wasn't my best month. But what I did is I came up with a plan, like Mackenzie said, because if you don't have a plan, you're going to get burnt out and you're going to lose that passion and that joy and that excitement. So come up with an action plan. Colleen has a beautifully laid out calendar for us, you guys. Don't reinvent the wheel. Use the effing calendar, okay? Sean Week's coming up. Look at things to invite to, okay? So for me, and Emily did the same thing. Me and Emily are literally like this right now because we're both on a mission at this point, and what we're doing and what we figured out is coming up with an action plan and then figuring out how to track those actual actions that you're doing on with your plan and how to keep track of those human beings. Like Mackenzie said, if you're adding somebody because you're going to be talking to that person, and then you're going to be forming that person, and then you're going to be popping them into some type of free group that you're going to be inviting them to. But I'll tell you guys, it's literally made my business and my life and my mentality so much easier having things to invite to. So I know I'm inviting to a free group. I know I'm inviting to a sneak peek. I know Mackenzie, yes. I know I'm inviting to, Sean Week and my challenge group. So it's sit down and come up with a game plan. And if you don't have a game plan, again, go to Colleen's. But again, if you just have a game plan and you guys aren't taking action, like we had really big numbers in that thread that Colleen posted yesterday. And I love it, but I literally sat there and I giggled because I was like, I don't think people realize how many bodies like need to be talked to and how many humans need to be talked to make those really big numbers. And so if we're all sitting back and we have this game plan, but we're not taking action, and not just taking action, taking the right actions. If you guys aren't living in your inbox and inviting to something and building that conversation and talking to people, nothing's going to happen. But the way that you live in your inbox, I literally just said this to Colleen today. I was like, I am living in my inbox. But how I'm living in my inbox, I'm mentally preparing myself for it, because when you're talking to 50 to 100 plus people a day, you guys, we're literally asking people to do the hardest thing in their entire life. That is very energy sum. There's a lot of energy going into that. We're listening to people saying they're unhappy, they're unhealthy, they want more, they want better, and they don't know how, and it's exhausting. So what I'm doing is I'm literally getting my brain in the mindset, affirmations, PD, and doing me. Like Colleen said, if she has a moment, she steps back, she talks to a mentor, she dives right into PD, she doesn't let it hold her down, and she gets right back into her shit. And that's honestly, I think, where people get so off, because I've been that person, you guys. But when you have that plan and you're taking those right action steps every single day, like Mackenzie said, your social media can be so effing on point, but if you're not inviting people and building those connections and building them the right way to build that trust and not taking care of you, you ain't going nowhere unless you have a team, unfortunately. And it's like, that I think is like one of the biggest things with everybody on this team is like, we all need to take more action. It's humans. It's a numbers game, you guys. And I think once everybody really starts to like, when you start seeing things happening and when you're doing the action plan, like Mackenzie said, and you have that plan and you're inviting to something and you're in your inbox and you're taking care of you, I'll tell you guys, it works, because it happened for me for May, and I'm already at Success Club 4, and I have 25 messages in my Facebook and in my Instagram. But that's because I'm living in my inbox and I'm messaging an F ton of people.
Janelle, I want to say too that you guys are probably like, oh my God, what is she inviting to? What is she saying? That's everyone's question, I know, right now. And we've talked about this a million times, but I always will repeat. I told the team, you guys have to do a free group. At this day and age, 5-day clean eating groups are cool, but 25 million other people are doing them. I really think that you guys have to look at yourself in the mirror and say, what do I have to offer? If you're doing your PD, you guys should be like barking at social media what you're learning. If you guys are building your confidence and doing your programs, you should be like, damn, I feel good. You should want to share that with other people. So Janelle has this free group that she worked really hard on. Emily has hers. I know there's a couple other people that have theirs, but that's why they were at the top of the Success Club leaderboard, because they're inviting to a free group and they're building relationships, then making the conversion to a challenge pack, and then hopefully to coaches. So that is a huge part of this, is you have to bring value. And if you're like, I don't know how to do that, it's what you're learning through this process. Your PD, your food, your nutrition, any fitness tips, like, don't overthink it. You're going to probably like absolutely suck on your first free group. Minded. If you work hard enough though with your mentor, which I know this team does not do enough of, my team doesn't do calls with me enough. When's the last time you had a call with your coach? I'm only saying all this tonight because you guys told me you guys want to make like $2,000 a week. $2,000 a week, guys. I worked 60 hours a week for 2 years on this business, not including my other jobs. So yeah, I was talking to a lot of people and being really bold on social media. I don't think I've ever missed a post on social media. Like, that's how hard the work is. What do you do in a free group? So this is where you get to shine. This is where you get to say, hey, I'm Amanda. This is how I want to help you change your life. You can offer food tips. You can offer any fitness tips. If you're a newer coach, it's going to be a little bit more difficult because you don't quite have like the story or the foundation yet. So mine is teaching people how to live a more vibrant life because I've learned over 4 years. But you guys can literally, it's in our team training. If you haven't done our team training, I have a video of giving you examples. You can go on YouTube and there's examples of free groups. But if you haven't spent at least 1 hour of your life thinking about content for a free group, you're not being the CEO to change people's lives. So I'm being really honest with you. I have a binder for my Beautiful Minds workshop that I spent hours on. That's how hard this work is, changing people's lives. You guys can do a 5-day free clean eating group if you want. That's so hard to say. Free clean eating group. But I just think that it gets stale. And I think it's hard to change someone's life with that. But if you're new, it's probably good for you to do that. And if you guys all have uplines and you all have Star Diamond uplines. When you log in your Coach Online office, it says your upline and your Star Diamond upline. Use them to help you. If you don't know what you're doing, say, you know what? I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know where to start. I'm really wanting you to push me. And your coach is going to get real with you. And they're going to be like, they're going to go to your social media and they're going to make sure that you're doing the work. Dahlia, that's good. Simple free groups are good. You just want to make sure that you're showing them the Dahlia show. Because they have to have a connection with you where they say, I want that person to change my life. It has to be something that connects. And that's why I include PD. That's why I include personal value beyond just clean eating. Like, I'm not a clean eating kind of girl. That's why I personally am like, that would never inspire me to want to change my life in a big way. But if someone gets in there and they're like, hey, this is how I used to feel. Now I feel awesome. I've changed my mindset and talking about all those kind of things. I'd be intrigued. That's my brand. So make sure that it's the Dahlia show. Get like your Instagram story videos are awesome. You're showing people how to make all these yummy recipes. Like, spend some time, put that together. Emily Goodman's one of the best examples for foodie recipes, and Janelle. Like, they spend a lot of time building content. You guys want to make $2,000 a week? Time. 5-day sugar detox. Oh yeah, people love that. Like, no alcohol, no sugar, because they're like, please help me with that. But I always try to, like, especially being diamonds and Star Diamonds, I'm really pushing you guys to include the PD, the life, the transformational aspect of it. I'm out of breath. Okay, well, I've been blabbing forever. I'm motivated and I'm excited. I hope you guys are excited. Next week on Wednesday, be prepared to come with a big heart and big mind and thinking big, because I'm going to show you guys how to make those kind of numbers that you guys asked for. And I'm going to show you what it takes. So this week, work on those business building skills. Do something you've never done before. If you've never sent out 10 messages, I want you to do that. If you've never made a bold post on social media, I want you to do that. If you've never gone live, go live. Do something different. Thank you so much, Mackenzie, for tonight. We kind of hijacked at the end. I'm sorry.
No, sorry. I hit a button and like scream at black. So that's where I went. But thank you so much. This was awesome, guys. Thank you. This was cool. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I'll post the recording in the team page for you guys. And I'd love to hear your biggest takeaways. I'll go on the team page and ask. See you guys later. Bye.